American psychologist Jerome Bruner, born October the 1st, 1915, died June the 5th, 2016. Theory on perception, learning, memory, and other aspects of cognition in young children. Jerome Bruner said, education must be not only a transmission of culture, but also a provider of alternative views of the world and a strengthener of the will to explore them. This presentation is brought to you by Xavier Diamond. Course EDUC 3203, Section 90, Education Psychology, Developing Learners. Instructor, Dr. Jeff Longing. Theories. Learning is an active process, and learners construct new ideas or concepts based upon existing knowledge. Selection, transformation of information, decision making, generating hypotheses, making meaning from information and experiences. Cognitive structure provides meaning and organization to experiences and allows the individual to go beyond the information given. Schema, mental models. Jerome Bruner said the essence of creativity is figuring out how to use what you already know in order to go beyond what you already think. Theories. Jerome Bruner had 8 educational theories. The first theory, theory of value. What knowledge and skills are worthwhile learning? What are the goals of education? Number 2, theory of knowledge. What is knowledge? How is it different from belief? What is a mistake? And what is a lie? Theory of human nature. What is a human being? What are the limits of human potential? Number 4, theory of learning. What is learning? How are skills and knowledge acquired? Number 5, theory of transmission. Who is to teach? By what methods? What will the curriculum be? Number 6, theory of society. What is society? What institutions are involved in the educational process? Number 7, theory of opportunity. Who is to be educated? Who is to be schooled? The final theory of educational theories is theory of consensus. Why do people disagree? Jerome Bruner had 2 psychological theories. The first one is cognition, means whereby organisms achieve, retain, and transform information. Knowledge is viewed as a symbolic and as a mental construction in the minds of individuals. Bruner created this theory in opposition to the behaviorist theory, which focused on the observable behavior of students, whereas the cognitive theory is the focus on mental processes of students. The second psychological theory is constructivism. Constructivism is a philosophy of learning founded on the premise that by reflecting on our experiences, we construct our own understanding of the world we live in. Bruner suggests that if the subject holds meaning, the student will grasp the concept easily. He also suggests that in order for teachers to instruct children properly, they must encourage students to pursue concepts of their own. Jerome Bruner also said, thinking about thinking has to be a principal ingredient of any empowering practice of education. Early life. Jerome Seymour Bruner was born on October the 1st, 1915, in New York City, New York, to Polish immigrant parents Herman and Rose Gluckman Bruner. Bruner was born blind and did not achieve sight until after two cataract operations while he was still an infant. Bruner was the youngest of three. Bruner's father was a watch manufacturer. He died when Bruner was 12 years old, and that led to the family moving frequently. Bruner attended Duke University in Durham, North Carolina, where he attained a BA in 1937. Received a PhD from Harvard in 1941. Jerome Bruner also said one seeks to equip the child with deeper, more gripping, and subtle ways of knowing the world and himself. Professional and personal life. Jerome Bruner entered Duke University where he majored in psychology. He earned a BA degree in 1937. Bruner then pursued graduate study at Harvard University, receiving an MA in 1939 and a PhD in 1941. During World War II, he served under General Eisenhower in the Psychological Warfare Division of Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force Europe. After the war, he joined the faculty at Harvard University in 1945. Jerome Bruner's first article was published in 1939, which discussed the effect of thymus on the rat's behavior. His academic career started as a professor of psychology at the Harvard University, where he served as an ardent researcher in the fields of educational and cognitive psychology. Jerome Bruner quote, "We are storytelling creatures, and as children, we acquire language to tell those stories that we have inside of us." Professional and personal life continued. After serving at Harvard 15 years, he was offered to teach at University of Oxford in England. He accepted the offer and taught there for 10 years. He came back to the United States to conduct researches in the field of developmental psychology in 1980. He got an opportunity to join the faculty at the New York University. Jerome Bruner was married three times. First to Catherine Frost, they were divorced. However, before the divorce, they had two children, Whitley Bruner of Vienna, Virginia, and Jane Milan of Tewkesbury, England. From those two children, they had three grandchildren. Second marriage was to Blanche and Miss Marshall. They were divorced. And his third and final marriage was to Carol Feldman. She died in 2006. Another Jerome Bruner quote is, "Manipulation and representation in continuous cycles are necessary conditions for discovery. They are the antithesis of passive listener-like learning." Career as an educational psychologist. Bruner, along with Leo Postman, worked on the ways in which needs, motivation, and expectation. In addition to his work, Bruner began to look at the role of strategies in the process of human categorization and the development of human cognition. Concern with cognitive psychology led to a particular interest in the cognitive development of children and just what the appropriate forms of education might be. 1950s, Bruner became interested in schooling in the United States. Another quote of Jerome Bruner: "The fish will be the last to discover water." Career as an educational psychologist continued. One result was Bruner's landmark book, The Process of Education, 1960. 1963, he received the Distinguished Scientific Award from the American Psychological Association. 1965, served as its president. Another quote of Jerome Bruner: "Good teaching is forever being on the cutting edge of a child's competence." Influences: Jean Piaget. He was a Swiss psychologist and epistemologist known for his pioneering work in child development. He built it on the concept of stages of development. Environment has bigger role on learning development. Bruner argued that social factors, particularly language, were important for cognitive growth. Influences: Lev Vygotsky, Soviet psychologist, the founder of an unfinished theory of human culture and biosocial development. Vygotsky's ideas on the zone of proximity development and scaffolding came to be increasingly influential to Bruner's research. Bruner's late life. Bruner lived a long and fulfilled life. He influenced many of people. Published in 1983 autobiography, In Search of Mind. Published in 1986, Actual Minds, Possible Worlds. Published also in 1986, Baby Talk. Published series of lectures in 1990, Acts of Meaning, wherein he refutes the digital processing approach to the studies of the human mind. Awarded with Distinguished Scientific Research Award by the American Psychological Association. He died June the 5th, 2016, at the age of 100. Jerome Bruner quote: "There is a deep question whether the possible meanings that emerge from an effort to explain the experiences of art may not mask the real meanings of a work of art." Influence on current teaching. Jerome Bruner's influence on current teaching led to ideas and thoughts that instruction must be appropriate to the level of the learners. The teacher must revisit material to enhance knowledge. Material must be presented in a sequence, giving the learners the opportunity to acquire and construct knowledge, transfer his learning. Students involved in using their prior experience and structures to learn new knowledge. Students to categorize new information in order to be able to see similarities and differences between items. Teachers assist learners in building their knowledge. Teachers provide feedback that is directed towards intrinsic motivation. Jerome Bruner quote, "The foundations of any subject may be taught in anybody at any age in some form." Bibliography page. Bibliography page continue.